Hello, everybody in chat and everybody who is lurking, and welcome to today's live stream. As you may have seen me posting on my social media today, and you may have seen from the title, we're continuing to work on my Star Wars Legion, specifically the Shadow Collective. But first, I actually pulled back out both Darth Maul and Cad Bane, which I had recently painted in February. Cad Bane may have been this month. I can't remember now. The point is I really liked what I did with the weathering powder on my Luke. As you can see, I have him here. I still think he looks amazing, and I like the light dusting of snow that I ended up going up his leg and that I powdered onto the base. So my thought was, what if I pulled out two of the Tamiya colors that I've not used yet, being the sand, light sand, actually three, I guess. So sand, light sand, and yellow, and apply that to both Cad Bane and Darth Maul, because I went with a very sandstone yellow on Darth Maul's base. And I've gone with an undertone of yellow on most of my Legion models when they have sort of these deserty bases, or just, I guess, like, it's not even really desert that I'm going for. It's more of like savanna, hard dirt sort of look, but it has a little bit of a yellow undertone. So I thought these powders might work really well. So I'm going to try it first, I think, on Maul, because I can focus it a little bit on the base itself and a little less so on him before I bring it fully up, and see how it looks and see if I'm liking it before I actually tackle Cad Bane, where I feel like I'm going to need to bring it up his leg a bit more. But I'm hoping this will add a little bit more of the classic look that you get with Star Wars characters, where everything feels very dusty. Like, if you look at the old movies, and even like how Clone Wars art handles it sometimes, they were really basing them, especially in the early days, off of these like wooden doll type animation style, and it was really interesting to me, and I kind of want to bring in some of that texture that they're known for. Hello. Oh, thank you. Aren't they the cutest little headphones? I don't know if they're changing color right now. I don't know if I've set that back up properly. But they actually have the ability to change color they're definitely not changing color. My keyboard is changing colors and my headphones are not matching it. So I need to readjust that again. It keeps getting desynced, but it can change colors with the RBG lighting in my computer, which is really, really fun. So thank you. All right. Let's bust these open, because I'm thinking for him, I'm actually going to start with the, do I want to start with the sand? I think I'm going to start with the sand color. Yeah, because that kind of matches the tones that I have there, but I'm going to end with this yellow, because I really feel like the yellow matches this stone. Like, does that not, oh, hold on. It'd help if I was on camera. Like, they look like they're pretty close to each other. So I think this will give it a nice, like, powdering and make it look a little bit more sandy. So I have a really just beat up old tri-brush from Citadel. And we're just going to use this because I like the idea of dusting it on rather than smearing it on with the thing that they provide. So I'm just going to get some of the powder. Oh, hold on. Let me make sure I'm on camera. I'm zoomed more in than normal, because I figured that would make it easier for you guys to see, but it's thrown me off on where my my zone of observance is. All right, let's do this. Yeah, I like what this is doing. It's adding a little bit more of an earthy vibe to the look. And I really like how it dusts the model. Like, these Legion models, they take it really well. The weathering, that is. I will need to end up going back through and priming the rim of his base, though, I think, because I'm losing a little bit of that pure blackness that I like that I've got on there. Ah, yeah, that is looking cool. All right, so let's blow it off a little bit. So I'm really liking the way it is. What I am going to use this brush for is just to dust off any loose parts. Okay, but I do like how this is working, so I'm gonna smear some up the leg a little bit, and then we're gonna move over to the yellow. Because these, like, metal pieces would definitely get covered in dust as he's running around. And I'm trying to go from the same direction, like, down, I guess. A little bit onto his pants. And a little bit onto the edge of his coat. Oh yeah, I really... It's adding another layer to it, and I like that. Because he was looking a little... Like, I was comparing him to my Luke, and he was just looking way too clean for the environment that I put him into. And all I'm really trying to do here is capture, like, these edges where I feel like the dirt would cling more. You know, if he's wiping the dust off of himself as he's, you know, hanging out or whatever before he's fighting everybody, he might dust everything down, and so it would kind of collect at the hems, which is where I'm focusing this. Yeah, I like what that's done. Okay, let's push it further by adding a second color, but I want to go a bit more yellow this time. I really like it. So I have not played Legion a huge amount yet, CA, but the few times that I have played, I felt like it's a very fast-paced game, and compared to, say, specifically Warhammer 40k, like, I would almost compare it to the speed that I've seen people play Kill Team at. It's a little bit more of a... You still get bigger armies, but I feel like they're a bit more maneuverable and manageable sometimes than the giantness of the armies that you can sometimes get in Warhammer 40k. And I really like both scales, but there is something about the energy of the Legion gameplay that I really enjoy. I also really like how they deal with the cards being used in their game. That is basically how you're able to, like, do things each round. You activate people by, like, drawing a card, and it'll tell you, like, okay, this unit can activate. And sometimes it's very specific because it'll be a named character like Darth Maul, or it'll just be like a troop, and so then you have a little bit more choice. But I don't know, there's something about that back and forth that I very much enjoy, and I think makes the game reactive in a good way. So I would highly recommend checking it out. Although I don't know how, like, I'm a little worried for Legion right now because I don't know how much longer it's going to be majorly supported by Atomic Mass and Asmodee, considering they are gunning for Shatterpoint in August. So I'm mildly worried we're going to see it taper off in the same way that, like, Armada and X-Wing and a couple other Star Wars games have tapered off every time there's been a new big launch of something that they're trying to push. All right, let's get some of this lighter powder in. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is totally bringing out that, like, same light, dusty color as before that I have on here. So let's do that. Let's kind of use it to emphasize maybe some highlights a little bit, actually. And then, of course, bring it on to Maul himself. I don't have any dull coat, so no. I am probably just going to standard seal it, but I might look into that. I'm not actually sure, like, what's the benefit. Is it just matte? Like, are you just going for, like, a matte finish? Or is it, like, specifically designed for powders? Because so far I've not really had that big of a problem with them sticking. Or, like, staying on. Like, I really want it to be a dusting. Now, this one I'm going to bring up a little bit more into, I think, his outfit, just very lightly. There we go. I want it very lightly on his chest. Just to unify things. And then we'll do a little bit on his back as well. Because, like, the cape would definitely collect some. No, it definitely does not prevent them from coming out dirty. Absolutely not. Are you kidding? They come out, they're like, everybody in Star Wars is covered in dust. Constantly. Like, they just dump dust on people, I think, when they're just doing costuming. Okay, I really like the way that this turned out, although I do think I got it a little too heavily on his legs. Let me see if I can pull some of that back off. There we go. It was looking a little too yellow on his, like, the very front of this front leg that's connected here. But otherwise, I'm really happy with that. I think it's done a very good job of what I wanted. What do you guys think? An improvement? I like it. Like, I especially like what it's done right around the edge of his cape, like those hems. Oh, yeah, that looks really cool. I think I need a little bit here to... There we go. His cape wasn't looking uniform enough. There we go. Okay, I like that. He, now in comparison to Luke, outside of Luke's face being a little bit more stark, because I did a... grisaille on him, and I did not do a grisaille on a Maul. I should have. Actually, that would have been a good idea. Oh my god, I have to buy another Maul now. But I think that's actually looking really cool. Now, the other one thing I want to do to Maul, but we're going to come back to it after I'm done with Cad Bane, because I don't want to mix paints while the powders are out, is I am going to add a little bit of that white highlight that I did on Luke's lightsaber to make it look a bit more glowy. Because I really, really like the way that this turned out. And so I want to apply it to Maul's saber as well. But we're going to do that here in a second after we powder this boy. Now, he doesn't have nearly as much yellow on him, so I don't think I'm going to use this color at all. However, I am going to use these colors. And I actually think I might even use the brown on his leather jacket for a little bit of a mud-ish look. But do I have any other... What colors do I have? I have this rust. I don't think the rust is going to do well. Let's go with... I'm going to stick with these lighter color tones. So just get some on my brush. Okay, I'll look into dull coat through the airbrush, because I do have an airbrush, so I could definitely do that. But I've never used it before, and I'm not super familiar with it, so... I'm learning something new. All right, let's go ahead and get this on the base a little bit and up onto his feet. I have way too much powder. There we go, that's better. And this, I'm just gonna kind of like pat this because I don't want it to take too much, and there we go. I'm gonna immediately start dusting it off, I think, too. I don't want it to settle and stick too strongly because I don't want to lose some of the highlights I got, but I do want to enhance some and make him look like he's been out and about for a bit. Oh yeah. Light dusting on his crotch area. Yeah, that's looking cool. A little bit from up there. Now this is where I think it's gonna look really cool. Okay? On the back of the cape. Oh, Testers make some. Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that. I mean, that makes sense, I guess. I will look into that. Thank you guys. What do you guys think? Is that looking good? Too dusty? Do I like that? I don't know. I like it here. I like what it did there. On his pants. What if I tried light sand? Maybe I just need more high contrast. Honestly, yes. All right, I think that is looking cool. What do you guys think? Oh, I hate when companies change the SKU IDs of something to something new. They must have changed the packaging or something, but still had enough of the old product on hand that they couldn't reuse the SKU for tracking purposes. Hey John, welcome to the stream. Glad you were able to make it after work. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, cool. I'll definitely look into that. Do you guys think I should try the dark brown? Is it just gonna look like mud? I'm gonna put it on his boots. Mostly because I'm just curious. Yeah, it just kind of looks like dirt. Alright, well, that was a fun experiment. Let's clean those off a little bit. Alright. I am feeling pretty good about Cad Bane. Maybe I should put a little bit of this up top. Maybe on, like, the elbows. Do a graze. Oh gosh, I should definitely do his hat. His hat's gonna have some weathering, right? I don't know if this is actually even doing anything. I'm gonna try this. Ah, I like that. Okay. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just taking the spongy part and rubbing it with some of that brown on there. And I really kind of like what that's done to the brim. I think it's given it a little bit of that, like, maybe starting to wear leather, but not, like, totally worn. Yeah. Okay, I like it. I think Cad Bane is officially done. He's dusted. I like what's happening here on the back of his jacket a lot. I'm satisfied. So I'm going to take him down. All right. Let's put the powders away. Probably clean up a little bit so that we make sure we're not getting any powders on our paints. Dust out my brush. Make sure to not use that for anything else. Okay. I feel like we're clear of powders. And we can probably continue on. You think he looked weird in The Mandalorian? I thought he looked pretty cool, actually. I thought they did a really good job of... Like, Cad Bane is sort of an odd gray alien, but done in blue, in my, like, kind of opinion. Just, like, with the way that they've done, like, his face design and everything with the eyes and the mouth. So, like, I think they did an appropriate job with him, and he's supposed to be older then. So it makes sense, like, I think they did a good job. All right. White. I need white paint, a palette paper. We're going to go ahead and work on Darth Maul for a smidge longer. Is this the one that's sealed? God dang it. Here it is. There we go. A little bit of white paint. A tiny brush from God Hand. We're going to thin this way the heck down. Now, it's going to be interesting because on Darth Maul, I actually put a glossy finish to his saber. So I don't know how this is going to attach, like stick. But let's find out. Oh, that's actually working really well. I'm going to let that first layer dry while I do the other side. I'm kind of just following the highlight of the gloss finish that's already on the saber for this, actually. It's also tripping up my eyes like crazy. You know when you look at something and you're too focused and you like start to go cross-eyed from it? That definitely just happened. All right, let's... I'm not sure I'm happy with that. Ooh, that is a benefit. Okay, so benefit to the gloss finish. I can pull the paint back up if I feel like I've completely borked it, which I had. So let's try that again. Okay, I like that a bit more. Now let's re-emphasize the other side. Is that better? Can you guys see a little bit better now? I'm just not sure I'm getting a bright enough highlight, so let me try this. All right. I think that's starting to look okay. I might glaze it with some more red and then layer on one more layer of white. It's going to be a process. Hello, Go For It Painting. Welcome to the stream. All right, let's switch to the other side. Let's go. I think it's working. Maybe it's because the blue just worked better with the white, but I feel like on Luke's saber, it immediately started looking like way better than what I'm doing here. All right. What do you guys think? Is that getting, like, the glow effect that I'm going for? Do I need to put a little bit more red? I feel like I might need to put a little bit more red. I'm gonna let it dry. I'm gonna knock Luke over in the process. I'm gonna set him off to the side, I'm gonna let it dry, and I'll come back to him and make a decision. So I'm not sure I'm pleased with it. But I also am not sure I hate it. Like, I'm looking at it at a distance. And, like, I do see it. It just looks unfinished, and that's what's bothering me. So, God Hand's interesting, because they have a couple of different styles of brushes, and they're all a bit odd, in my opinion. And not necessarily in a bad way. Let me be very explicit about that. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It's just... look how tiny this brush handle is. Like, okay, I have a small hand. This is at the palm, like the base of my palm, and the handle only goes up to, like, the seam of my middle finger. Actually, that's even with the fennel. So it's a really small brush, which works well for me because I have small hands, and so I feel like I can hold this fine. I don't know how comfortable this would be if you've got larger hands. Like, just straight up. I don't know how comfortable it would be. Because I feel like you'd have to be gripping it really hard. That being said, though, I think the tips are excellent. They keep their shape very well. I think the way that they packaged the brushes... actually, I could show you. Hold on. So they come in these... like, cute little packages, which are safe. They've got the little plastic cover thingy on them when you take them out. And because they are small, you actually can, if you keep those little covers things to prevent your bristles from getting screwed up, you can actually store these in, like, a hobby zone drawer, or, you know, if you've got those wooden MDF drawers from, like, Amazon or whomever. I found that they can oftentimes fit into those, and so, like, storage is really nice for them as well. It's really just the handle size that is honestly my biggest concern for, like, your average hobbyist in, like, the US or UK, just because I think hand size might make the grips a little uncomfortable. They also have these lower end, because these are a little bit more expensive because they're high quality tips and they keep their shape really well. They've also got these ones here which have this very, like, soft wood. Like, this is such, like, I feel like I could snap this thing with no trouble. I'm not going to try because I don't want to ruin my brush yet because it's still good to use, but, like, I feel like it's very soft wood. The one thing I will say is if you are dipping this into a pot of water, for example, and you go past the metal fennel bit, or ferrule, or whatever the freak it's called, I can't remember now, this wood absorbs the water like whoa, and it'll just saturate. And then if you're painting with it and you happen to be holding it down there, or your fingers happen to, like, get into the water, or somehow it gets wet, you're then feeling it, and that's a little uncomfortable. But if the feeling of slightly damp wood doesn't bother you, then it may not be as big of a problem. However, that's the one thing I will say about God Hand. Although I will say I really do like them. Like, these little brushes, I've been using them almost in every painting tutorial because I've had some sort of fine detail work that I need to do, specifically when I'm doing, like, eyes or some freehand. This has been really nice because I feel like I've gotten a lot of control because I don't have a long stem to get stuck on something or maneuver or accidentally whack with my arm or something. So I do feel like I'm getting a lot of control out of this very small brush. It just, I don't know how good this will be for people with larger hands. All right, let's work on the actual Shadow Collective a bit more. Now, I have not touched these guys basically since the last time that I streamed with you. And I just was pulling back up my reference for what this guy needs to look like. I think what I'm going to do next is he's got some robes beneath, which I think I did in Black Templar before, and I'm going to continue that because I didn't actually finish it. Where is my Black Templar paint? Is it already on my desk and I'm just not seeing it? Black Templar? Black Templar? That's Black Legion. That's Basilicanum Grey. Black Templar. I found it. All right. Yeah, that looks like Black Templar, not Basilicanum, because I'm going to use Basilicanum on a different section on this model, and so I'm pretty sure I planned that out. And then the only reason I'm using, normally when working with contrast paint, I really would not recommend actually using one of these really tiny brushes. However, I have a single like line that I need to paint, and it's actually kind of recessed back, and so to avoid as much cleanup as I can, I'm going to just do it with this tiny brush. Still probably have to do some cleanup, because that other section does need to be yellow. And I definitely got some contrast paint on it. Chapoopy. All right, let me see if I can get that off real quick before it fully dries and make my life easier. It's one of the reasons I like using contrast paints or speed paints as much as I do, is because they clean up. Like if I make a mistake and the paint's still wet, I can usually get the bulk of it back up. Until I accidentally spread it around everywhere. All right. Okay, with that part done, we're now going to move on to some Basilicanum Grey to get that done. And then we'll do the yellow part, which is the part that I've been anticipating forever. Hello, Oliver. Good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Let me know what projects you may have going right now. And that goes for anybody in chat. If you guys have some cool projects you want to share and talk about, do let me know. I'm always happy to hear about them. Otherwise, I will just keep rambling. It is what I want to do. I definitely need to come back and do something to Darth Maul's saber. I'm looking at it from a distance now, and it's not as cool looking to me as Luke's is. So I corrections must be made. All right, let's try to do this cleanly. As cleanly as possible. It's looking pretty good. It's been rainy here all day, and a big gust of wind just went by, and it startled me. Just spreading the Basilicanum Grey around, it occurs to me that this is just white. I can just repaint over it. Why am I stressing so much? I should make sure it looks good and just deal with the cleanup. As long as I don't get it on the purple. That is all that matters. Oh, speaking of the purple, I need to remember to go back onto my Instagram. I had a couple people asking me in the comments about what purple I used, and I couldn't remember what the color's name was all morning. And I was looking just before I got started, and I forgot to go answer it before I went live. So I need to remember to do that afterwards, so that I can let people know that it's Luxian purple. That's what I did to get this beautiful texture. And then I did a wash of Druchii Violet, I believe. Is that what I did? Yes. Maybe? Yes. Yes. I did it off camera, so I was actually having a hard time remembering. It's one of the nice things about doing the tutorials is occasionally if I'm like, what did I do on my orcs? What was my recipe? Oh, right. I can just look and go and check in my video descriptions and it'll list all of the colors that I used. Okay, that is looking good. That is the only thing that I think is... Oh, no, there's some on the back. Just kidding. Oh, this is gonna be annoying. Don't get it on his hands. Don't get it on his hands. Oh, you just did a big truck kit bash? That's cool. Oh, for Tabletop Titans even. That's awesome. Do you know when it's going to be, like, on their show? Or on their, like, used in a battle report? Or has it already been used in a battle report? I have not been watching as many battle reports as I once did, so I'm not as up to date with, like, what people have been doing on them. Ooh, your freebie project sounds cool. Why did you put finished in quotations like that? Are you not actually done with them? Is that why it's like that? All right, there's a tiny bit of gray that needs to go like inside here, so I don't know, you probably won't be able to see this well, but I'm gonna be awkward for a moment. There we go. There we go. All right. There's one other thing that I realized I need to do with this with Black Templar before we move on. And that is paint his bun. His man bun. AKA his top knot. And I think it's just like this section here. I feel like we should be on the beach. I don't know what song in Sonic this is, but it definitely feels like a beach song. I feel like I'm on an island. Alright, that is looking pretty good. I'm gonna do, like... I don't think there's a point. I was gonna say I'm gonna do a little bit of, like, a little bit of black in between the bands, but I don't really think there's a point. That is a giant pool of paint. Let me just suck some of that up. Okay, and make sure the bottom actually got covered properly. And not just pulled into. Alright, I feel like that's looking good. I'm happy with that. Wonderful. Cleanup time. Oh, actually, you know what? Screw that. We're not going to clean him up quite yet. What we're going to do is, I know there's a bunch of gray that I need to use on this guy. Because in my reference material... Yeah, their, like, whole outfit is essentially gray. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's the plan. Ah, I see. So you might actually be adding to the list, which is why it's finished but not actually finished. That makes more sense. That makes total sense. Nice. Well, that's really cool. I look forward to potentially seeing it on the show. Alright, I'm just gonna basically paint this guy's entire outfit, except for the trim, in Basilicanum Gray, because it tends to make it look like a kind of a metallic fabric. Some sort of alien armor or something, I don't know. But we're gonna go with this, because I like the non-metallic look. The effortless non-metallic look. want those holes to make sure that they're filled, but I don't want them to look too... Like, I'd rather this be thin so I can layer. Rather than it looking too pooled anywhere. Okay, I'm liking that. Let's do the other side. That is looking super good. Let's make sure to get everything over here and be mindful of his hand, Angela. Don't get the gray paint on the nice green that you've already put down. I don't want to have to fix that. Please and thank you. Although it's on the other side, I may not even have fixed it even if it had happened. Alright, that is looking pretty good. Again, I got a little bit of pooling, but I was a little bit more careful this time, so less so. I'm going to definitely need to go in... Ooh. Good lord, I said I was cleaner about it, and I was not. Okay, that is looking better. Alright, we'll definitely put a second layer on, but I'm liking how this is turning out. Now the shoulder and... Nope, 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 stop, 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 stop. Oh my god, I just lost my reference. Hold on. Okay. Nope. Nope. Phone, please stop fighting me. There we go. Okay, thank you. Sometimes technology and I just do not function well together. Hello, Rassic Mass. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Alright, we're going to be a little bit messy on this guy because he's just got too much trim and too much that needs to be gray. So we're going to have to go a little wild. I think part of my problem is my gray paint is drying out. And it's therefore actually saturating too much. Let's fix that problem. There we go. That's looking better. I'm still on camera. That is good. Barely, but still on camera. And then under here. Yeah, this is just, he's just gonna need, he's a boy that's gonna need cleanup. Are your arms, they're more of a black, but that's fine. We'll just layer that. That's looking good. Ooh, hi, welcome Darren. Welcome to your first stream. It's lovely to have you here. I hope the weather in Northern Ireland is really nice. I imagine like you get some really green like scenery. I don't know why I think that, but I do. And it makes me very excited because I love green things. You are currently working on Echo Base or Echo Base Defenders. That's awesome. Holy cow! 368 models. Dude, have you just basically got everything that they've put out? Is that how you've been doing it? Like, that feels like a massive, massive collection, and I'm jealous. Like, I have a fairly okay-ish collection, but not that much. That's intense. That's me with my Warhammer collection. Ooh, Rebel troops are lovely. Are you going with the classic look for them? Or are you doing something more custom? Just trying to clean up some of this gray a little bit before it dries too much. Now I do need to put this color tone on the shoulder pads, so let's get that going. Again, keeping it really thin because I'm just going to layer it up. All right, and then what part of his helmet? It is the sides. So I think it's this section. Shit. All right, I think that's looking good. Where are those little sticky up things? These are also in the gray color tone. Okay. Got it, got it, got it. We're learning the color palette of the Shadow Collective. These guys are... I don't actually remember. They're not the Pike. Black Sun? Black Sun, right? These are Black Sun? Okay. That is feeling pretty good. I haven't accidentally got any gray on the green, which is excellent. And I am going to let him dry for a moment. That's really cool. Do you play with your daughter? Like, does she play, You do themed battles? Oh my god, that's so cool! Currently you're saying that you have forces and, boards for Geonosis, Scarif, Tatooine, Hoth, and Endor? Oh my god, that sounds so cool. Are you doing, like, full, like, terrain boards? Or are you doing, like, just terrain pieces and then putting it on, like, a mat or anything? Or are you doing, like, a full sculpted board? Because this, like, either sounds really cool, because it could be a ton of terrain. And Legion doesn't have, like... I mean, they have some terrain, right? But it's not a huge amount. So did you do, like, custom stuff for your boards? Or third-party, like, products? Or did you, like, scratch make it or something? Or are you just using bits that you can get from Legion and then, like, kit bashing them? I'm so curious. Like, that is so cool. Hello, Supersonic89. I am very well. I hope that you are doing quite well as well. We are working on some Star Wars Legion. I'm going to come back to Darth Maul because I have some people drawing right now. Because I want to come back in with a little bit of my Blood Angels red, and I want to see if I can, like, adjust this a little. Because I'm not super satisfied with it. Yeah, I think I just need to make it a little thinner. I think it's just, it got a little too wide for my liking. And I think because I did Darth Maul's saber in a glossy finish, it may be slightly tweaking the way that it's showing. Ah, of course, I should have guessed 3D printed terrain. That makes a huge, huge amount of sense. Oh, that sounds so cool. If you're on Instagram, you should message me and share them with me, or like link me to the posts so that I can see them if you've shared that online, because I would love to see that. I love terrain boards. I think they're super cool. I feel like a lot of places don't use them, and I wish more people did. I know they're really cumbersome to move around and stuff, but they end up being so just immersive for a game. Okay. Yeah, that is feeling a bit better. I'm gonna... I'm actually... So what I'm doing... Sorry, I moved myself off camera because I was testing something. I'm just doing a little bit of, like, stippling to see if that makes it look a little bit more crackly. And actually it is. Okay, that is what I needed. I needed to look a little less even. It was too clean, and also in the center. So let's go ahead and do the same thing on this side. We're going to bring in the white a little bit. Very delicately. And then we're going to stipple a little. Shoot. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Hold on. I like smudged something and now I'm like, no, I fucked it up. See if I can clean it up. No? Okay, I need to go back in with white. It's okay. I still got some on my brush or on my palette, so let's just gently tidy that back up. All right, there we go. I actually think I fixed it, and now I can continue doing what I was doing because I've reduced the crackle that was happening there. All right, let's go back to the red. Let's get a little bit of fresh paint on my brush because I think my palette stuff has dried up a little bit too much. All right. And... all right, what do you guys think of that? I think that reads a little bit better as the saber, like, being lit and crackling than what I had before. I think I'm happy with that. Oh my god, I almost bent it. Like, his works because that blue gives it a little bit of a cleaner, like, glow. But I think the red saber needed a little bit of that sort of speckling. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. It reads better from a distance now. And that's was one of my main objectives. Like, if he's on... I don't know if you guys can tell because it's very bright in here. And slash overcast because I've got some, like, random gray light coming in. My lighting's not the super best right now because of the rain outside. The rain! Alright, what time is it actually? 1:55. I'm going to take a brief break. And we'll get back to painting our Black Suns. Because I think it's time. They should be dry enough now. Where is... Oh, he's on this one. I was like, where's my purple boy? Yeah, he's looking dry enough. I think I can do my cleanup. So I'm going to take a very short break. Saw a shadow cast and it made me very concerned that I had some like major pooling happening. So I'll be right back. I will take a very brief break and I'll be back at the top of the hour. So at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time or whatever time it is your time. I'll be right back, guys. There we go. We are unmuted. It is the top of the hour, and I am back to continue working on my Star Wars Legion. You know, actually, speaking of Star Wars Legion, AdeptiCon starts tomorrow, I believe, or is it starting today? I actually don't know. I know Games Workshop is having one of their previews starting tomorrow for the US and Thursday morning super early for Europe. And I know that Atomic Mass Games is doing some streaming. Whoa. Oh, hold on. One of my lights just died. I have the cable. Let me just put that and plug that in. Okay, but what I was saying though is like, so Atomic Mass Games is definitely doing some streaming. I know they're streaming some of the tournaments that are happening, but does anybody know, are they doing any previews? Like any announcements for AdeptiCon? Because I don't remember seeing anything. All right, there we go. My light's back on. That's all. I fixed it. Ba, 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 ba. Back. I am now not sure that we're getting a 10th edition announcement. Because the trailer, so there was a trailer from Games Workshop. I think a lot of people saw it. It was the Tyranid, like it was a video of a Tyranid's face, and as it approached the eye, you saw Blood Angel's Terminator reflected in his eye. And I immediately went, so Space Hulk, right? Because I'm sorry, I just Tyranid Gene Stealers against Space Marine Blood Angel Terminators, to me scream Space Hulk. But then everybody was like, "Oh no, it's gonna be 10th. It's gonna be 10th. It's 10th." And I was like, "Okay, well, I mean, maybe that makes sense because like, right, 10th edition is around the corner. We all know this. Surely Games Workshop is going to that is actually the announcement." And then they had another trailer, exactly the same but reversed. So it was a Blood Angel's Terminator zooming in on his eye visor and seeing a Gene Stealer in there. And then in the text, it actually called out Space Hulk, like, as words. Like, they said the words Space Hulk. And I'm just like, wait, is it actually a Space Hulk announcement? Is that what we're getting at Adepticon and not 10th edition? I think people are going to be pissed. Like, I think some people are going to be really excited. I'm going to be one of them. Because I am fine. I'm like, cool, give me a standalone game that I can play with two factions that I think are very cool. Perfect. I love it. I'm happy. I'm a satisfied girl. But I don't know if the majority of the community is going to be thrilled by that. Like, or as thrilled by it as I am. So I am mildly concerned for tomorrow's live stream from Games Workshop. But I don't know if Atomic Mass is actually doing anything. Okay, so they're having some trailers released, but not an actual like live stream preview in the same way that Games Workshop's doing it. That's fine. I'm just kind of curious to see if there's going to be more. Basically, I want to know if there's going to be other things for me to talk about at Adepticon outside of the Games Workshop stuff and potentially people being upset that there isn't a 10th edition announcement. Good morning, Okami. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. Have you got any cool Lego projects right now? Alright, I'm really actually loving the way this double layer Basilicanum Gray has been working on his uniform. Let's go ahead and get the shoulders. We'll see if I continue to like it. It's doing pretty alright for me so far. Not too much pooling, getting a nice, lovely gray tone. I am going to weather you, so anything that I don't like, I can probably fix with some powders, because that's my new favorite thing. Like, legitimately, I've just gotten very into using the weathering powders. I think they add a depth that I hadn't realized I was missing. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good about that. I just realized his shin things. I didn't check to see. Nope, they look like they are normally presented as black, so that's what I'm going to do. Space Hulk, I think, would be very cool. Like, I don't feel like we've had... When did... Let me look it up. I don't actually know when the last Space Hulk released. I have it, so I should, but I'm bad about dates. So, let's see. Space Hulk board game. Because there is also the video game. Wow, that was... They've done 4 editions of Space Hulk. I don't think I realized that. That's pretty cool. Alright, so 4th edition Space Hulk came out in 2014. Wow! It's been over 20 years. Holy shit! I guess that makes sense. It was out. Yeah. 2014. I'm old. I'm old. That game is old. Holy cow. What? Are we in 20? Oh, sorry, not quite 20 years. So it's 19 years old. I can't do math. Because 2014. No, I really cannot do math. 10 years. It's 10 years old. Math is hard. I was not good at math, despite going into calculus. I did not do... I mean, I did fine on my tests, but I studied my ass off for it, and then I promptly forgot everything because I went to art school, and I didn't need it anymore. So I was like, I don't need to remember any of this nonsense. I'm taking this class, I'm struggling through this class in high school to not have to take any math classes when I go to freaking art college, and guess what, guys? It worked. I didn't take any math classes in college. Yes, no, you're absolutely right. It is 10 years. I just can't do math. And now you know why. I got a little bit of pooling. Hold on, I'm taking care of it. Oh, I got a lot of pooling. Cleaning it up. Still, 10 years is a long time. I'm still old, also. That doesn't really change. That fact has not changed. My goodness. But I am excited for it to be Space Hulk. I'm just worried that most other people are not going to be, and they're going to be like real butthurt. That's the announcement. That's the big announcement for 40K at AdeptiCon is the return of Space Hulk. You know, I actually have not played the boarding action rules, so I cannot speak to the finite differences of them. But I do think that they're probably derivative of Space Hulk originally, and I'm not really that surprised if that is the main announcement, because the boarding actions thing, like, as soon as they introduced that, as soon as they started bringing Space Hulks back prominently into the lore, as a, like, major focus, I kind of was expecting us to get a new game, which I'm very glad, which is why I'm happy. I'm happy that we're getting this new game. But I can't actually speak to the differences between the two because I've not tried boarding actions. I've not played 40K in any capacity in a little while because I've just not been super thrilled with it. Although I will admit, boarding actions, from what people have talked about with me online, seems like it's really fun. I just haven't had the time to, like, actually look at it. Yes, well, considering they've had 4 editions of it, which I didn't realize the one I owned was the 4th edition version. Actually, do I own the 4th or is it the 3rd? I think it's the 4th. It's probably the 4th. I'm not going to bother looking up the differences between them. It's probably the 4th. I can't imagine I'd own one later than that. Okay, cleanup. That is what I'm doing. I forgot for a second. I was like, what do I need to do on this boy? I need a little bit of white paint because I got some gray in a bunch of places I don't want it. And in fact, actually, both of the lads are going to need some cleanup. So that is probably what we're going to be working on for a little bit. Isn't that just, like... But isn't that what Kill Team is supposed to be? Is 40K, but, like, with smaller armies and less bloated rules? I guess it's probably not, right? It is representing a little bit different. I feel like there's a lot of redundancy right now in Games Workshop's products, and I think that's part of my problem with it. Like, there's redundancy in a bad way, and then there's also bloat. And it's just... I really, really want to know about what 10th edition is going to look like as a rule set. Alright, I'm going to start on this cleanup. Hopefully it won't be too much of a pain in my butt. Shoot, do I need to do the inside of his robe in purple? I think I do. Ah, crud. Alright, well, let's do this cleanup first. Oh, man. I hate when that happens, and I don't realize that an edge is part of a different part of the fabric than I thought it was. Shapoopy. No. No. Okay, well, I'm gonna hold on the... continuing the cleanup on him. I don't know why I took him off this handle. I had a second handle corrupt with my other boy. Because I need to do some purple work on the inside of the jacket that I didn't realize, and I'm kind of irritated at myself for. Before I continue doing that, because if I get purple on the same areas, I'm just gonna have to clean it up again, and I don't want to do that. Oh, I forgot to put my headphones back on, so I could actually hear our music. You guys are hearing it still, right? Yes, I see the desktop audio going. There we go. Maybe that's why I was getting so irritated. I stopped listening to my happy music. Okay, I'm glad that they are more different than I was giving them credit for, because I really was expecting them to be a bit more similar than not. Just based off scale. You know, as tedious as cleanup sections are sometimes on models, I really enjoy it because I really like seeing the crisp, clean, like, white that I need to still put paint onto versus what I've done texture-wise or color-wise on the rest of the model. It's pretty cool. Farmer Wendy, hello from California. Welcome to the stream. I hope that you were doing lovely today in the UK. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the channel. Do let me know if you have any questions. I'll do my best to answer them. Right now, I am working on painting some Star Wars Legion, but we are talking about the upcoming releases for Games Workshop when it comes to Warhammer 40k, because there's a big preview tomorrow, and I think people are going to be disappointed because we're not getting an announcement about 10th. I feel like Space Hulk, in the edition from 10 years ago, was not super readily available after, like, a year of that game having been released. Which, unfortunately, is the case, I feel like, sometimes with Games Workshop's board games, before they really were featured in, like, Barnes & Nobles and stuff. Because they have that deal with Barnes & Noble where, like, they get exclusives and... or early access to them or something ridiculous like that. And so I don't know, like, how, like, if you weren't on top of getting that game, I kind of got the impression it was hard to come by. But I kind of get the impression that's the case with most Games Workshop products, when it comes to those, at least back in the day. Like, I mean, hell, even Cursed City technically had that problem, although it is more readily available now. At least in my experience. Not opinion, but my experience. I'm only being this diligent about this step because everything that I'm cleaning up on these models right now is going to end up being yellow. And so it is going to look really weird if there's any staining. So I need it to be as pure white as possible. Nice! So, Farmer Wendy, what do you use? Oh, you're trying to build the Rebels list. Is that your main list, or did you run something else prior to them? And which models are your favorite so far that you have built and or painted? All right, let's do this delicately to not get any paint on the green. Okay, looking good. I don't recognize this song. I wonder what song game this one's from. You know, I should call out, actually, since we've been talking about the fact that the stream is happening tomorrow. If you guys want to do a watch-along with me, I am going to be live streaming the entirety of Games Workshop's announcement starting at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time in the evening. So 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That'll be a half an hour before the actual event goes live. That'll give us some time to chat, figure out what we think they're going to reveal to us, slash talk about potentially Dynamite, because I will be watching Dynamite the 2 hours before the live stream happens, because it's Wednesday and that's what I always do on Wednesday nights. So we'll be talking wrestling beforehand probably, and then we will be gushing about whatever it is that they show us, because let's face it, it's me. I am very, very, very easily pleased when it comes to plastic crack. If they show me new miniatures and they look even remotely decent, I will be happy. So that'll probably be what happens. So please do feel free to join me tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can do the conversions to whatever that is for you locally. For those of you that are in the UK specifically and other parts of Europe, I think that's really super freaking early in the morning, and I'm sorry, and I don't blame you if you're not there. I would also probably be asleep if it was at 3 in the morning for me. Nice. So that's your first set. You've got the core and some Mandos. Nice. Ooh! So I don't know. You probably don't have this, Luke, because I think he was a little bit harder to come by as he was limited edition. But this is the Luke that I just painted. And he was a lot of fun. I think Luke is a great character to paint up. If you've got the one from the core set, I think you have his, like, standard, like... Is that the black outfit, actually? I don't remember. Hold on. Let me look. Let me look at what the Star Wars Legion core set. Nope, that is the Clone Wars core set. Thank you. That is a tiny picture. I actually can't tell based off of the pictures that I'm seeing. Is that the black outfit? I suspect it's not. It's probably his brown outfit, right? Doesn't he have like a brown... God, I don't know Luke well enough at all. Like, so, okay. For Star Wars, Clone Wars is my jam. I am a Clone Wars girl. Okay, I just typed in Star Wars Legion core set, went into images, and... This was the first thing that popped up. An eBay listing for this statue of Rey. And I'm like, I don't think she dresses like that. But you know what? I accept. It's a more preferred way for me. Okay, where is this picture? I really like the art they're using for Shatterpoint. Okay, it is his brown outfit. Not my favorite of his outfits, but Commander Luke, that is what he's called. Excellent. Yeah, not my favorite design for him, but I think that one's still pretty cool. And honestly, I'm just gonna plug one of my other videos. I might suggest for him potentially watching my Cad Bane paint through, because we talk about leathers there. And even though he's not necessarily in leathers, the brown color tone aesthetic might work. You just may want to go a little bit lighter. And so it might still work really well for you. Ha ha ha. All right. Now that I'm done plugging myself, thank you for indulging me on that. I think that's really cool. If you are on Instagram, feel free to link me to what you've done with your project so far if you have shared it online, because I always love looking at that stuff, especially when it comes to Star Wars Legion. I feel like it's such a cool game and has some really fantastic miniatures. No, it's definitely not official. I don't think it's official. But that was literally the first thing that came up, and it was sponsored, which was the funny thing. So that person must have paid to try to get eBay to advertise their listing or something. I don't know how that works, but that's how I suspect it works. If it's the same way that, like, if I were trying to do something that was being pushed and paying for ads. All right, this is looking pretty swell. Delicate there. Got a little bit of white where I didn't want it, but I could just cover that up with more gray. Let's see if I can lift it a little bit. I don't know how... Oh no, that was terrible. I just got more. Ah, hold on. Clean the brush. Clean the brush. It wasn't clean enough. Okay, there we go. Okay. Fixed it. Fixed it. Everything's fine. When you're doing a cleanup like that and you're trying to pull paint back off of your model because you got it elsewhere and it's really watery and you think you could just get it up with a semi-dry brush, make sure that brush is clean and doesn't actually have paint on it before you dip it back into it, because you're otherwise just going to do what I did and spread paint everywhere. All right. God, it looks so crisp though, doesn't it? Ugh. I also apparently need to paint this foot. Apparently I missed that entirely while I was priming it. Holy shit. There too, dang. Well, at least I hadn't painted those yet. So I can fix it before I get to them. Okay, the face. I'm gonna switch to a smaller brush. Not this small, though. Let's go with this Tamiya brush. Which has, like, an insanely nice tip on it, by the way. Yeah, that's what she said. Yeah, this is working very nicely and I'm getting a lot of control, although I do think I need a little bit more water. So, I think they are 28 millimeter, because I think they're measuring from, like... You know what? Let me look it up, because I don't actually know. And I'm not good at identifying them, because I always think the Star Wars, or the, I always think Space Marines are 40 millimeter, and they're not. I think they're just on 40 millimeter bases, but they themselves are, like, 32 millimeter. It's very annoyingly confusing, because the base sizes and then the miniatures themselves are all using roughly the same terms, and it's just, like, they're not the same. It's not referencing the same thing. Grr! Alright, what scale are Star Wars Legion minis? Will this answer my question? 48. 1/48. Nope, that is... No. Yes, that is correct. I'm also seeing some people say 1/47. I don't know. They're roughly the size of a minifig. Here is a Luke minifig. Here is Luke. If I put his bottom foot where his other bottom foot is, they're roughly the same size. I mean, hell, he's almost the same size of him, just standing on the ground using the base. So, you can use these as your Star Wars Legion figures. That's what I'm telling you. Just buy Lego. You don't have to paint them. You don't have to do anything. You can just use those. I might have a video tied to this topic planned for the future. And I hope you're excited. Because I think it'll be fun. Yeah, I'm the kind of the same way. Like, I'm not super picky about the scale, as long as they are looking relatively appropriate to the other things on the board, rather than, like, being that picky about it, because honestly, I just can't keep track of it. And I don't care to either. Like, it's just, it's more knowledge that I don't need in my brain, when I'd rather keep other more useful, useless information in my brain. Oh, awesome. Well, I am glad that I was helpful with that, because yes, it was something that Chaos Cultist and I discovered. We were like, oh my god, what if we just use Star Wars Lego models for our Star Wars Legion boards? Yeah. And then so that's where the idea stemmed from, and we'll see where that goes. I'm excited. It's another reason to beg Lego to make some Space Marine sets to get a Games Workshop license, even though they never will. And that is just a pipe dream of mine. But it would be amazing, because then I feel like you could just use Lego terrain. And it'd be really cool. Alright, I think I'm almost done with the touch-up on the back. And then I'll flip them around and we'll continue the cleanup on the front side. It's looking good. There's a little bit of gray there. Excellent. Dude, have you guys, I don't know if you remember this. I think it was actually from, like, last year's Warhammer Fest. Or it may have been, actually, what is the one that they do, that is called, what is it called? It's like Bones? Skulls? Preview of Skulls? It's whatever one is focused on their actual, video game content. Do you guys remember the Space Marine bolt gun that was advertised during that? Because I recently saw somebody do coverage of it because they got early access to it, and I am so freaking hyped for that game. It is a Doom-esque Space Marine game, and it looks amazing. And also the music sounds good. So I cannot wait for that. Also, oh my god, I just remembered. Saturday. Okay, Saturday. You guys, Saturday. I will be live streaming the beginning of my playthrough of the new Resident Evil 4, baby! I'm so excited! Oh my god! It releases on Friday. And I'm going to be streaming it on Saturday. And holy shit, I cannot wait. Because it's going to be amazing. Oh, I'm so excited. I have been waiting for the remake forever. I love the original Resident Evil 4. It's one of the few games that I've played through multiple times and actually completed it multiple times. I love it that much. And I cannot wait to see what they changed, what they've kept the same. Like, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing, and I want it. I want it in my face right now. Also, I'm sorry for my scream. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just couldn't contain myself. It's so good. Leon S. Kennedy. He's back. And I think we're going to get to hang out with Louise more, which I'm really excited for. And honestly, I'm curious to see how they have changed everything, if they've changed it at all with I've forgotten her name. What is the president's daughter's name? Ashley. Ashley. That's what it was. Okay. Do you guys remember when Michael Jones of Rooster Teeth still had his, like, M. Killa, I think it was called, like, channel, and he played Resident Evil 4, and when he got to Ashley and being able to put her in a dumpster, it was just bitch dumpster, and then bitch follow me over and over and over again. Such a good time. Very inappropriate, but I also loved it. I want to see what they're going to do with her. I also is she going to have a bigger role? Like, is she going to... Like, I don't know. I'm excited. It's going to be cool. It's going to be so cool. I think, like, if you grew up in a certain time period when Resident Evil 4 was, like, new, I feel like you cannot not be excited unless you're just very bitter. But I'm so hopeful. And I've played through the demo, and I actually was very pleasantly happy with it. So I'm optimistic, other than the fact that I broke my neck. I was less optimistic about that part. But I'm optimistic that the game is just going to be good. Like, I'm optimistic it's going to be similar to what they did with Dead Space and that remake and how that was very well received. And so far, the critics are loving it. Are loving the remake for 4. And I'm so happy to see that, because I want to believe it's going to be amazing. Oh, I'm so excited. So Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will begin my journey with Resident Evil 4 once again. All right, we're working on the cleanup now on the front. It is going smoothly. Did she have two? I guess she did have 2 sweaters, didn't she? Listen, maybe she just was very cold, but then wherever she was like very humid, and so it was too muggy to wear the sweaters. That was kind of a weird choice. Dude, have you seen the new, they have some new unlockable, outfits for both of them, and I love them. Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna look it up. Unlockable outfits for RE4 Remake. Because they are really cool. And Chaos Cultist showed me... Yes, here it is! Okay, there are 2 that are just exceptional. First... Look at Punk Ashley. Look at her. Look at her glory. Look at her. I want that outfit so badly. Give it to me. And then I actually think Leon looks pretty cool too. But I love them. But look at these ones. Look at their Castlevania motherfucking selves. Are those not glorious? They're vampires. It's so good. It's so good. I want it so badly. It's so good. Also, he's got purple pants on. Like, I don't know if you can tell. It's purple. It's beautiful. I want them. I want both of them in these outfits. Just look at them. Look at how beautiful all of them are. Like, I'd bang every single one of them. Every single one of them. I guess maybe not Ashley if she's underage. I don't actually know what age she is in the game. I think she's over... I think she's an adult. I don't actually know. But Leon definitely... Especially with the white silver hair. Castlevania Leon. I love it. It's so good. Yes, that you got it exactly correct. She had one sweater for herself and one sweater for a zombie in need. Okay, real quick before I get back to my boring cleanup, because just painting white is mildly dull, as much as I actually do enjoy it. I need to go back in here, and I need to get purple on the interior of this jacket. So, Luxian purple. Let me shake it up. Nice ASMR paint shaking of balls rattling and liquid shaking. All right, there we go. That's looking good. All right, and got a little bit of paint. Let's not put it near the edge in case you knock it off, Angela. That would be bad. God, so brilliant. All right. And I'm going to focus a little bit, so if I'm quiet, I apologize. Not so much because I'm trying to be clean, mostly just because I'm making sure I get everything. Yeah, that definitely needed to be purple. It would not have worked otherwise. Oh! Well, that's why we didn't continue the cleanup on him, because I knew that was going to happen. Just getting a little bit of purple on the underside. I don't actually think it's going to be visible ever, but part of me just needed that to happen. Hello, Bruzy. The painting is going quite well. I have actually done a whole lot today. Hold on, I got some white. I can't tell if it's dust. It's dust, okay. Fixed it. So I've been doing a whole lot today. Let me finish this, and then I will come back and I'll show you guys what I've done. Because I know there's been a couple people actually that have popped in since we began. And so you may not have seen what I did to update my Darth, Maul, and Cad Bane. Don't know if it goes all the way up here, but I'm going to put some and then clean it up if I need to. Okay, that is feeling better. Got the purple on the inside. So, we've been working on our 2 Black Suns models, mostly just doing the gray on them so far. The green and purple we had done elsewhere, except for the little bit that I just did on the inside. However, what we started the stream off with is, so recently I had painted up my Luke Skywalker. And I really liked the weathering that I had done on him. So I decided to come back in to grab my Darth Maul, which I had painted up a couple weeks ago. And I added some weathering to him, which I think turned out really nicely. I especially like what it's doing on the edges of his cape. As you can see, there's some nice discoloration of just like what looks like dust. And I think it just has worked really, really well to build up the environment, add a little bit more realism to the piece, and speak more to how Star Wars actually visually appears, because especially in the movies, it's very dusty. Everything is covered in dust. Adam Savage talks about this all the time whenever he's talking about like doing prop pieces for Star Wars. So I just wanted to kind of add that in. And then I did the same thing on Cad Bane. Especially like on the duster, I wanted to make sure there was dust there, but also on his legs a little bit. And I really like the effect. So now they match a little bit more with my Luke. And they look really, like, it's kind of hard to see because they're not facing you guys correctly. But if you just lay them down, you can't see. They're too far away. Trust me that they look really cool together, standing together in real life. I really, really like it. Oh, the other thing that I did on Maul is I added a little bit of the white to his lightsaber to make it a bit more glowy. And I think it worked pretty well. I think I'm satisfied with it. It looks really nice from a distance. I think when I look at it up close, it looks a little too still like cohesive, but I think at a distance it actually looks really, really good. So that's what we've been working on so far, and it's been a lot of fun. I have been having a good time. We've got about 20 minutes left of today's stream, so let's go ahead and try to get this guy finished cleaned up, and maybe we'll get that yellow on real quickly before we end today. So let me just take care of this. I'll try to go a little fast to not take too much time while still being tidy. And you guys will be able to catch me tomorrow when I'm streaming for the Games Workshop live stream about their announcements at AdeptiCon. So make sure to join me for that, for those of you that missed my advertisement of that earlier. And if I end up feeling like I'm not going to get to the yellow today, what I'll actually go do is I'll go grab my Bo Katan helmet. Because I don't think I've shown that off on the channel too much yet. And it's really cool, actually. And it's Star Wars related, so it's topical. Haha. You guys excited to watch the next episode of The Bad Batch and Mandalorian tomorrow? Because I freaking am. Ugh, tomorrow's gonna be actually really cool because I've got, in the morning, I'm gonna catch up on Bad Batch and Mandalorian, see what's going on for the new seasons. And then, in the evening, I'm going to be catching Dynamite, and it should be a pretty good match. I'm so glad that Stu Grayson's back. Really happy to see him. He's gonna be having a match against John Moxley, which I expect to be bloody. So that will be fun. And then we've got the preview at 7:30. It should be pretty cool. I'm so glad. One of the things I'm really grateful for with the Star Wars Legion minis, they have really distinct, defined raised edges on a lot of their outfits. And it makes doing this cleanup stage actually a lot more, like, easy than sometimes I feel like with Games Workshop models. Well, just watch both of them tomorrow, man. Don't worry, don't worry. I would highly recommend watching last week's, though. It was good. It was a good episode. Yeah. Sad a little bit, actually, too. But, like, also, like, very good. It was an interest, like, go watch it. It's just a good show. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Do I need to clean up? Yes, I need to clean a little bit up on his headpiece. Oh, no. Got some white on his head, but I fixed it. Everything's fine. Alright, that brush now has way too much water. Let's get just a little bit of paint on the tip. Just the tip. And to some very controlled cleanup. Yeah, that is looking fantastic. Okay, we need to do a little bit more on the back here. It's looking good. Yay! I'm glad you can watch the rest of the stream. Yeah, be careful. Don't watch this. Don't watch things while you're driving. I'm glad you didn't. That is very excellent. So I don't think Bo is over the Children of the Watch, but I do think she sees them as a platform to help reunite Mandalore. And I think she was also completely shocked by the fact that they were just so willing to accept her back in. I think that may have thrown her off, but I do think she sees this as an opportunity to actually reunite her people without necessarily her being the one in charge. Because I think she's learned that lesson. When it comes to Bad Batch and Sid, I think she has sold them out episodes ago. I think part of why she has been reluctant to help them get back specifically, and also telling them, like, don't come back unless you have anything valuable, is because I think she already had sold them out and she's regretting it. And now she's trying to keep them away without telling them that. And when they finally end up arriving back to her, I do think Omega's going to get kidnapped. And I think the only reason she's even feeling any guilt is because she found out whoever she sold them out to isn't actually after them. They're after Omega. So that is my theory. I have no idea if that is going to actually be the case. They could just be playing Sid a lot more, just like, well, she's Trandoshan and she's just going to be a villain. But I think it's a little bit more complicated, and I think that's what's been going on. Because I definitely think Omega's going to eventually be captured. No. Hold on, I have to fix something. I got some white on the purple, and I cannot let that happen. I love the way my purple turned out, and I will not fuck it up. Okay, I fixed it. Okay. Okay, let's get to the smaller brush. Obviously, that one's too big. And/or I just wasn't controlling it well enough. Okay, there we go. That's looking pretty decent. Let me just clean up in here a little bit. Got like a whole bunch of green and purple on this thing. All right, there we go. That's looking better. Oh, she's definitely taking a trip there. The main reason I think she's going there is because I think that's how Crosshair is going to get redeemed. I don't actually know if I believe Crosshair is making it out of that facility alive in the current state that he's in. Brainwashing or something like that and having him go out, possibly. But I really think what's going to happen is I think Crosshair is going to die getting Omega out. And I think that's going to be tragic. And it's going to leave an impression on Omega. But I think that's what's going to happen. And I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry so hard. My eyes are going to be so red because I will have bawled my eyes out. I don't know if I can deal with it. I don't know if my heart is ready. But I expect that's what's going to happen. Like, I genuinely don't think Crosshair is making it out of this show alive. And I don't know if this season. But he could just disappear like Echo did for like ages. So that also could be the case. But regardless, I do think that like whenever Omega ends up at that facility, it will be Crosshair to help her get out if he's still there. And I think that's how he's going to redeem himself. AKA, that's how I hope he redeems himself. Please, Filoni, do it. Make it happen. Where did this red come from? Oh, there's just red in this brush. Holy shit. Oh, there must have been still some red on the bristles. Okay, hold on. We can't have that. Let's try getting rid of that. Guess we're gonna layer on a little bit more white. Yeah, we're not gonna get to the yellow, I don't think, because I need this to dry thoroughly before I put any paint on it. So, in a minute, I'll go grab the Bo Katan helmet. And that's how we'll end today's stream. Okay. I'm not seeing the tint of red anymore. And then I also need to do a smidge amount of cleanup here. Basically down to where that seam was. It's gonna look so sharp when I'm done with it. I'm spending so much time on this one troop. I guess technically he's a named character. Is that like a hero character? I don't know what they're called in Legion, actually. Because, like, you have your commanders, right? Is there, like, a lieutenant? Like, is there a term for... Because I can't remember. Like, Obi-Wan was my commander when I was running my troops. And I don't think I had a second one. But you can have... What is the secondary... Like, I can bring Padme, for example, and she doesn't count as my commander. She counts as something else, and I don't remember what it is. There was actually a video I saw recently, and unfortunately it was from like a year ago, so it's not super up to date, but your comment about keeping track of the named clones reminded me of something with that video, because it was all of the named clone deaths. And I'm like, oh, tragic. I don't want this list, but also I do want this list, because they do that all the time. They just like, they give them names and then immediately kill them, and it's so upsetting. It was a 9-minute video, too. And it's just clips, like, they're not going into the details, so that's a lot of clone deaths. This is almost finished. Go, go, go. Is there a Bo Katan in Legion, by the way, Legion players out there who are watching this? Like, operatives, thank you. Thank you, that's what they're called, operatives. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So, like, surely there's been one, right? Like a Bo Katan operative or commander? I don't actually know. I know there's going to be one for Shatterpoint. Okay. Alright, I am feeling good about that. I don't know why that's still reading super purple to me, but it's not actually. That's good to go. Okay, I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to grab my Bo Katan helmet because it's in the other room, and I'll be right back because I want to show it to you guys. I know some of you may have seen it, but... Hello. This is the way. Isn't it cool? I got the Black Series Bo Katan helmet. It actually, let me see. Woo, this pops down. It's very awesome. I love it. It goes back up. And I actually can wear it with my glasses on, which means I can actually bring this thing to conventions. And I didn't realize how many of these they've made. Like, not Bo Katan specifically. But, like, they have blanks and stuff, which would be really cool. And I might, like, eventually grab one to try painting it. Because I think that would be really neat. But expect some stuff with this. When Bo Katan comes out in Shatterpoint, I am definitely going to be painting her. And probably wearing this costume for it. I'm really surprised, Darren, that they have not made a Bo Katan for Legion yet. That's really, like, especially considering Death Watch exists in the game. I mean, technically it is with the Darth Maul stuff, so maybe... But she was with him during that time period. I'm really surprised. Maybe because they know they're having her in the Night Owls in Shatterpoint, they haven't done it yet. But I think this is really cool. I'm going to be doing more stuff with it, so be expecting that. Again, I will be painting a Bo Katan at some point, so I'm really hyped for that. But yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up today. Let me see, can I... If I go to full screen... Nope, I am tiny. I'm still on the same scale. That's fine. So I am going to go ahead and wrap up. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Also, Okami, I completely agree with you. You just need to stop the clones from giving you their names, because if they name themselves, they will die. They will just die. And I don't want that. They're precious to me, and I don't want them to perish. But yes, make sure that you guys are joining me tomorrow, starting at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we will be live streaming a watch-along of the Games Workshop live preview from AdeptiCon. I'm expecting some hopefully cool announcements. I'm expecting to be told that Space Hulk is returning and that we will not be seeing anything about 10th edition, so that will be funny, and I cannot wait to deal with chat and see how angry and or not angry, or at least not surprised that people are about this announcement, just because I feel like people have been talking about it. I do think, and you're right, Darren, I do think that is a major complaint that I've seen from Star Wars, and I wonder if that's something that they're... This is one of the reasons that, like, the fact that Shatterpoint's coming out makes me a little bit concerned for Legion, because I feel like some of the characters, like Ahsoka and Bo Katan, that people might want in Legion are now existing in Shatterpoint, and I don't know if they're going to be interchangeable. I actually think the Shatterpoint miniatures are even larger than the Legion miniatures. Not by much, but I do think they're supposed to be bigger. So I don't know if it's going to work out super well. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and call it here. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of your evenings, an absolutely lovely hobby night, and I will see you guys next time. And to those of you that are watching this to the very end later on YouTube, holy cow, thank you very, very much. Hope you enjoyed it, and make sure to leave a comment or like in the description, and or I guess not the description, but in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you later. I'm rambling now. Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye, you're all lovely. Goodbye.